folks, this is FDV Vladirek, here to bring you another match from the EPS. This time we have Socke as the blue Protoss in the bottom left versus Acro as the green Protoss in the bottom right. And the map is Newkirk, Precinct, TE, no watchtower here in the center, instead this fancy little graphic. Now I'm going to tell you another story. I realized that the match before, I think it was like 2 matches ago or something, I told you a story about, the guy who casted an amazing game, basically, realized he didn't have fraps on. Well, let's just say history repeats itself, folks. I casted this entire thing. It was amazing. Looked up and was like, oh, it's not, fraps isn't on. What am I supposed to do? I know what I'm supposed to do. Come back and cast it again. It's worth watching the second time. I feel you all need to see this too. It's amazing. Of course, I did lose my whole story I was giving about how much I worry about pronunciation of names. Like, is this Acro? How would I ever know if it's Acro? I mean, where I do spend a lot of time watching pro-level games and pro-level casts from like Husky, Day 9, Tasteless, basically everybody who's ever casted a game, I've at least watched some of their videos. Spend a lot of time on the Team Liquid website reading about those things, but it's not like American football or baseball or any other sport really where there's a whole wealth of information that's easily grasped. It's a little bit more difficult. Seeing double gas come out from Acro, that's going to be an interesting choice. Seems a little bit early to me, but we'll see what he's able to do with all that extra gas. Either way, it's just, so I worry a little bit about names and whether I'm pronouncing them right. And hey, who knows, whatever. If I'm pronouncing a name wrong, just leave a comment, tell me all about it, yell at me for being stupid in every way. I don't care. It's all alright. We do have the faster cybernetic core down for Socke. Macro is not too far behind. I just said macro. Oh my gosh. Acro is not too far behind though. And I gotta say, it's almost more difficult casting a game after you've seen it, because it's like, yep, he's doing that like I knew he would. I can't be like, oh, and he pulls off this amazing play. How did that ever happen? Because I've already seen it. It's difficult. I need to remember to turn fraps on. Either way, this is going to be an interesting match, I assure you. Does need to move this rally point though. No, it looks like he's just going to, yeah, he does. There's 4 in that gas. He really needs to fix that quickly. Or he won't, maybe. I didn't notice that the first time around. Don't see the same problem out from Acro. On the other hand, the mothership cores are going to be moving out to scout. This is actually something that I find a very interesting idea on this map. Something I feel like everybody else should think of too. Sending the mothership core out to scout, very useful. Not much that you can, well, there is a lot you can do about it, but if you don't see it coming, you can get a lot of information and maybe a couple of probe kills. Also, remember, time warp, very effective at slowing down the economy. All of a sudden, though, he does see this mothership core moving out, and he needs to protect his big secret, his Stargate. Don't want to be showing that off too soon. It's a lot harder to defend against Stargate tech if you don't know it's coming. If you do know, however, well, that's a different story. Either way, Socke's going to be moving this core in much farther than Acro, who just basically said, oop, there's a stalker there, not going to get much out. Socke trying to get as much information as he possibly can without losing his mothership core. Very sound tactic. All of a sudden going to be moving in with that stalker, going to be able to get the extra shot, the first shot here, which means he will win that battle, and Acro's forced to retreat. 2 stalkers, though, going to be better than 1. Moving in with that concept, but of course these 2 more stalkers just going to be able to positively break this unless Acro makes something else. I don't even know where his mothership core disappeared to. There it is, in Socke's base, all of a sudden realizing maybe he needs to be home all of a sudden. He cannot match recall. Looks like he has a photon overcharge going down on the Nexus as its command, but remember, he is literally unable to recall if he wants to use that overcharge, and he does sort of have to worry about that. All of a sudden we do have Phoenix out. Fascinating choice. from Acro, if you ask me. We do have Phoenix coming out for Socke now as well. It's just a fascinating choice because a lot of times, especially in my league, you do see Oracles or Void Rays, much more common. Usually you do see Oracle then Void Ray. That's sort of the opening that a lot of Protoss are going for now, but look how these Phoenix allow him to chase down and kill off those Stalkers, giving him a bit of an advantage here in the beginning. Acro is, of course, all of a sudden basically in a very good position. Socke taking that expand, but is it really safe after losing so much? These Phoenix, very good at scouting, very fast, and of course they fly, which means that even though Zerglings might actually be faster, there's nothing that really can compare to the mobility of a Phoenix, especially with their ability to move and shoot. Not really sure why this pylon is being placed here. Not entirely sure. Maybe for flanking purposes. Maybe for some future plan. Who knows? Who cares? This game is going to be getting mighty interesting, mighty fast, as the Phoenix do move in over here. Going to be seeing what they're able to do. Going for a couple of probe kills, but no, there's the Phoenix and the Stalkers there to intercept. Not to mention Guardian Shield is effective against Phoenix attacks. And the micro here is going to have to be spot on from both of these players, as all of a sudden it's Phoenix Stalker versus, I don't even know what to call that. It's basically a very strong, intense micro battle. Whoever said that Protoss is the A move rate clearly has never seen this game, at all these parts having to move at once. What kind of APM are we looking at in the 200s there? And there goes the Time Warp, trying to get every slightest bit of advantage they can, and the Graviton Beam going to be lifting them up as he tries to free his fellow brethren. Not quite able to do it. There we go. They are freed, but it is too late. All of a sudden, those Zealots, though, are going to be causing a problem for Acro. Where are those Zealots going? Zealot, you're going the wrong way. Oh my gosh, that might have cost him a lot there, as that other Zealot probably would have been able to at least help him kill off one of those Stalkers, and that might have made the entire game right there. Has to be careful versus that Time Warp, as the Stalkers are already faster, and this situation is not looking good for Socke. Phoenix is making this battle very interesting, as once they do have the aerial advantage, they're able to dominate the ground forces, simply change the entire dynamics of the game. I need to think about this a lot more often myself. All of a sudden, those probes going into the Time Warp, not going to be able to do anything with it, or to do it. Phoenix is continuing to move across the field. He is pushed back just for the moment. On the other hand, those proxy pylons and the other one coming down there, going to be making this a very difficult game for Socke. Is basically the only advantage he has to do with his Phoenix position. On the other hand, those Phoenix are going to be able to lift 2 up, but they aren't really going to be able to do much. He might lose a Phoenix right here. Yes, he does. This game is fascinating. The Zealot on Zealot action. Acro does get the advantage there, and all of a sudden Socke is in an unwinnable position. There's the dance. Oh my gosh, Acro, you animal. I did not see that the first time. We are going to go back and watch that. Oh my gosh, folks, did you see that? What are you doing, Acro? We're just gonna watch this spot, ignoring all the rest of the things. We're gonna go ×2 here. Oh my goodness, I've never even seen that happen before in a game. Talk about, I don't even know what to say to that. Oh my goodness. Alright, here we go. Victory for Acro is here. Slow this down to normal. There goes the Zealot. There they go, and the Stalkers do a dance! Oh! Wow! Oh, Acro, I like you a lot. All this Acro, you just earned a place as one of my favorite TOS players. I don't know anything about you, but I'm gonna find out. We're gonna move on to, oh gosh, is this game... No, yeah. I said we were going to be moving on to game 2 of my last one that I, of course, messed up. So all of a sudden I felt like I should be saying game 3. No, we're going to be moving on to game 2 between Acro and Socke in this best of 3 series. Acro, oh gosh.